Y'all just see me and all my papers and all my notes. So I'm gonna leave it here. Letters that I'm doing with my son. So bear with me when y'all see I got stuff all piled up. This is Legos, more of my books that I print out and I read. And we um the other day, shout out to Home Depot. Okay, Home Depot. I got a little carpenter on my hands. We made the lantern box. So we had to put this together, him and I, right? I was showing him how to do it. And so we did this. So shout out to Home Depot for this great tool that we did. And what we did was we put this together and we decided that Caden decided, sorry, that he's going to plant some strawberries. So what we did was we do not have any strawberry seeds. So what we're going to do is we went and bought some fresh organic strawberries. We went to like Whole Foods. We're going to skin them, put them in some dirt, and try to regrow some strawberries like that. So from the from the from the more of I don't want to say the hood way, but we're gonna do it that way. Okay. So that's what that is. So that's kind of like my little stuff that we had up there. I'm looking at some more letters. His name and stuff, more letters and stuff that we be doing. So that's what you see when you see my papers and stuff. I be trying to be. I gotta do. That's my light. This light is in there. It's just the thing that's hanging, so it just looks a little tacky. But that's I'm a mom, and I gotta still try to figure out how to live a life and still do other things. I know y'all probably hear like some noise in the background. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but that's my oldest over there blow drying her hair. I had to tell her just now, like, yo, turn the volume down. She like, I'm blow drying my hair, but she got a whole movie playing on Alexa. Like, ma'am, either you're blow drying your hair or you're watching a movie. What are you doing in the bathroom? You're over here just doing everything at the same time. I don't understand these kids, but nonetheless, I know I can't be the only one with these issues. Yeah, yeah, no. So, nonetheless, just hopped on real fast. All things real estate. Let's chat. Um, One of the things that I wanted to kind of hop on and talk about today was they call it your why, right? Like why do you what made you start? And I just kind of wanted to chat about that. Where did I get my start from, or what made me want to start doing real estate? One of the things that made me want to start doing real estate was, let me try to see if I can get on here. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, here you go. One of the things that made me realize like why I wanted to do and why I wanted to start doing real estate was um this angle. Just trying to make sure that my angle looks cool. Was that, and y'all see I did my back, my wall, my 3D. All right. One of the things that made me want to start real estate was the fact that this is something that I seen when I was growing up. I wish I would have got that clippings. It's a clipping that I have of my aunt. Um, she was she was at a family reunion, and they had like a newspaper clipping. She was at a family reunion. This was years ago, and they asked her. I was like, "Oh," she was like one of the family members that was like, "Oh, I missed it out for like the last past 7 years. I'm glad I made it to this family reunion." And they was like, "Well, what have you been doing like that? Why did you miss it? What made you not come?" And she was saying, "Oh, I've been running my construction business." Right. And so that, like, for me, like reading that clipping was like one of the highlights. It was, my aunt really was, and I remember, now, mind you, this is the aunt that when I grew up, she was my godmom, right? She was my godmom, but we also lived next to each other. So you had two sisters living next to each other. And I, it was just, I remember going to the site, and I remember she was like, "You got to put the hard hat on," and I remember her sitting there. She had her hat on, and she looking. They got plans laid out, and it was a construction site, and she was literally like looking at the plans, doing this, and she was talking to the people, and I'm just not knowing nothing, but I remember having to wear the hard hat, and I remember her at the like across the table, like plans laid out on the table, and she, telling them. But mind you, I'm young, so I don't really know. But I wasn't there all the time. I just remember going there for some reason. That I just remember that one time I was there, and nothing about it like really excited me. It was exciting because I was there, but I'm a little girl, and so nothing at the time about it was super super exciting. But then like later on in life, when I got a little older and I started understanding certain things, and I remember going in with my grandma, and she like, "Oh, we gotta go down here." And my aunt driving. My grandma was always chaperone everywhere she went, right? This is old. They was down south, and she came up here, whatever. So my grandma, I'm like, yeah, take me over to so and so. Take me over to. It was a house that wasn't too far from us, from where we lived at. So my grandma would go to that house, and I remember she would, the people would come out and they'd be like, "Yeah, Miss Fulton, da 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 da," like just giving her, talking to her about stuff. Yeah, the plumber came by, and I'm like, "What's she talking?" Oh, I'll make sure the plumber come by or whatever. I'll make sure if it's a leak, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Not putting the pieces together. And lo and behold, when my grandmother, so I knew I knew she had like a property, right? Here and there. Lo and behold, when my grandma passed, she had a property for each one of her children and transferred it into their names, if I could say it like that. So it was about by the time she passed, because she had to sell one down that was sinking around. If anybody from Philly, down, they call it the Triangle now. I think they about to rebuild in this area. This was like 9th and the Boulevard, 8th and the Boulevard, or something like that. And the city got the properties from the people, and they gave them, I guess they cashed them out for the properties or what have you, because the properties were sinking. Now, from what I'm hearing, they about to rebuild, right? I've been seeing the RFPs, minding my business. But I mean, I wish I really can get in that game because I know they're about to start building around there. But so that's one of the things. So maybe I should probably buy something around there, just give y'all a little heads up. My little why is I seen it in my house, right? I seen it in my family. This was my close proximity. This was something that I was able to see, engage with my own eyes. And like I said, when my grandmother passed, and this was in 1999, I seen how she gave every one of her kids a property, right? She gave, it was money and all that other stuff too. But for real, the real wealth was you handed down an inheritance to each child. And I thought that was so decent, right? And so I remember, and maybe I found a book like in maybe 2023, 2024. I was sorry, 2003, 2004. I remember I had to been, I don't know, 20, 22, 21 or something like that. And I remember me and my mom used to talk about, like, I want to own, me and my mom used to have these conversations. I want to own a commercial building. I want to own real estate. This was just me and my mom just having chit chats and talking like, "Mom, this is what I want to do." Whole movie plan. And so then I said, okay, I found a book that I talked about how I wanted to have real estate and different things like that. So now fast forward, I got away from certain things because life started happening, right? Life started lifing, and all of my family kind of just dissipated. I'll say it like that. And not because I wanted, but I felt like now at this point, like I'm the matriarch, right? I'm one of the matriarch. I'm not the, but I'm like one of the matriarchs in my family, and I'm only in my, like, come on. I felt like I shouldn't be, right? So I felt like the way that like the head, like I didn't have it. Let me back up. I didn't have the support that I thought I needed to, I don't even want to say carry on the legacy. I just want to say, like, my family wasn't there, right? They passed away. I don't know what contract they made with God before they came down here to heaven, but it was a crappy contract. Okay. We're just going to go and leave them on their own. They're going to figure it out. I just felt like it was the most crappiest contract in the world. I'll stand 10 toes on it and tell them all to their face when I see them in heaven. It was a crappy contract and y'all shouldn't have signed it. Okay. Because we was down here trying to figure it out, fighting over this, fighting over that. But I thank you for giving me a blueprint. And so that's the blueprint that I had, that I know it's real estate, being your own, my grandmother, they used to have like, it was the Byberry building. She used to work there and then they closed down. She ain't never worked again. Now, granted, she had a husband and I guess she might have been getting his pension. Again, I don't know. I wasn't in my grandma's pocket. So I was young at the time, but I've never seen my grandmother work. But my grandmother had the nicest stuff. And we went on plenty of vacations. And when I tell you, my grandma paid for all of the kids. Like, we all going to family reunions every year. So we went to Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, Ohio, Virginia, West Virginia, like anywhere we was, Kings Dominion, any trip, anywhere we went all the way up and down the East Coast while I was a kid. So to say the least, my grandma was like, that's nothing. Oh, and I'm taking them to go shopping, all of them. And I'm taking them to go get some new shoes, new this, all that for vacation. And then every year. Okay. So my grandma was doing something. She was all right. And so once I started getting a little older and getting myself together, again, the thought came back, I want to get some real estate. So now I'm at the place where I'm able to make those moves. I've got myself at a place where I felt more secure as an adult, that I could add some extra funds and say, hey, well, let me do this, and then like getting strategies on how to buy property or what to do. And I think with the first actual piece of property that I was able to get was I was about to buy a house. Let me just tell y'all the story real fast. I was about to buy a house and I've been saving. I done did NACA. I done did all this. I done went through the program. I got approved. Mind you, this had to have been 2011, right? I done got approved. I done did everything that I needed to do. And I turned around and I wanted to buy a house. And I was going to buy a house. But I couldn't. I had to take the money that I had saved and I had to pay for my mom's funeral. I'm okay now. I'm okay now. But the money I had saved, I had to take it. And I had to pay for my mom's funeral. And I didn't even know if it was enough or it wasn't enough. I don't remember. I just remember like God just opened doors, things happened. My aunt was like, I had a plot here. You can use this. You just got to pay to get the ground open. So that was like, a couple dollars that was saved. The funeral director was a friend of the family. So they was able to kind of like work with us. And then any other extra monies that came in, that's what I do remember. I had took the checks to them and was like, here, like, you know what I'm saying? Like for a little bit after I had to, make sure everything was together. We all had got, our clothes or whatever like that. Glory to God, it all worked out. My siblings, I think they had a couple little dollars that they was able to put towards, but mainly I had to take all of the savings that I had, and I had was maybe about back then, maybe like 5,700, I want to say I had to save up or something like that. But all of the monies and that was for the house, right? But all of the monies that I had saved up, because I was ready to buy, like literally all I had to do was pick a house and I was buying it. And it wasn't time. I couldn't buy it yet. And so I used that money and I wanted to make sure my mom was cool. and I wanted to make sure she was put away well. And we did that, and she had a beautiful service. So I felt no, I didn't regret what I did, but it was just like, okay, so now I have to either stay in this property that they won't let me buy, because I wanted to buy the property. It was down South Philly. I wanted to buy this property, and it was a tax credit site. So they was like, oh, we don't sell this property. We can't sell this. We can't sell it. So I was, kind of mad. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do? And lo and behold, my mom's property that my grandmother gave her, she was like, not she, but it was about to go up for sheriff's sale. And I would go around the neighborhood because my address was still attached to it. And I had some mail. Sometimes I would get mail still there. So I was like, you know what? Let me ride through the block. One of the neighbors was like, oh, they had a notice or something on your mom's door. Now, the newsy neighbors, they know what's going on. So they're like, oh, there was a notice or something on your mom's door. So when I looked, I saw that notice. I snatched that joint off and was like, no, you won't. And it was like, I think I had to pay the back taxes. And so now I'm like, this is my thought. I can't buy the house that I want to buy that I'm living in. I love that house. I couldn't buy it. I said, now the money that I saved, I just spent it. Now I don't have to buy. I said, how about I buy my mom's property back so that it doesn't go into foreclosure or tax sale, because that's what it was going. It was going to tax sale. I was like, how about I just take some money and do that? So because my address was still attached to this property, I was able to go to the law firm and tell them, hey, I'm living in this. You know what I'm saying? Because this is my address. Can I make a agreement? They made an agreement with me. I paid the back taxes on that. Once the back, and it was a couple dollars. It was a couple dollars. I paid the back taxes. There was no mortgage on the property. So that was great because the property was paid for. My grandma passed. Everything was, well, probably way before, but the property was paid for. No, but it was just the taxes that wasn't being paid. And I got on agreement. I had to pay them, and I got a property. The only thing was I had 4 people's name on it because all of my siblings were now at the time adults. And so the way it was written is the children inherited. So I was working for my job. They get, you get benefits, you get like a union lawyer. And I asked the lawyer, hey, can we figure out this? My siblings agreed, go ahead. And I was able to transfer that into my name. So that what became my first property. And I was so grateful, right? So I learned so many mistakes on that first gut rental rehab. Not rental, but it was like I rehab because I lived in it, right? I lived in it for about 10 years. And then I was like, let me fix it up again. And now me rent it. Now my thing was, this is my why, how I'm getting to this point right here, was that when I first started, I wanted to help people that came through the ranks like I came through. And when I say that was, I became a single mom. I had to raise my children in a household that had a dad, didn't have a dad. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like a blended situation. Then it was like, going through all the thoughts of the single parent, helping people. I didn't want to do children because the children, you had to have certain clearances and stuff. So I needed to get somebody in the property when I decided to move out, right? So what happened was my intentions were to help women and children that are unstable, because I've been at that place where I had to live with my mom, go back and live with my mom because I was transitioning from out of a relationship. I had to go live with my sister as I couldn't stay at my mom's house because the electric and the gas and the stuff was off, right? So those things like, okay, I'm having a brand new baby. I can't stay here because there's no electric and no gas. I need to transition. And so I had to stay with my sister, and we stayed in the projects, and I stayed with her for about 2 years until I got this property that was in South Philly that I was trying to buy, and they wouldn't let me do it. So all that stuff kind of like added up. And so when I thought about who I wanted to help, I wanted to help those people, right? I wanted to help people that were in transition. I wanted to help people that needed help, right? That needed a place to stay. So I was setting my house up. I was going through the zoning. I was doing everything. Got in contact with L&I because I wanted to have the house to be like a house where I could set people up, make it single room occupancy, and allow people to stay in there, kind of like, and get rent off of those three. Lo and behold, wound out happening was because I had to get some zoning and stuff done that I thought I had to get zoning and stuff done. The neighbors was like, not in my backyard. I don't want them type of people here. And I'm like, y'all tripping. Like, you are them type of people. Some of your family members is them type of people. What is you saying? Y'all bundle. It's like 3 families in one house. You gonna tell me that your child is homeless? Okay, like you mad about the people that's down the street that's homeless, or at the shelter that's homeless, but your folks is homeless. If they stay with you, they homeless. You know what I'm saying? It just didn't add up to me. But so nonetheless, I said, okay, whatever. Went through that process, and guess what? God opened up another door, and the door he opened was there was a program with Office of Homeless Services that the people that might be going through the shelter, some of them had jobs and stuff like that. The shelter had a program where they were willing to pay a percentage of the person's rent in order for them not to have to be in the shelter. I'm like, bet. So guess what? God opened up that door for me to do that, and I wanted to do that for more people. And the young lady I got, she's a pretty good tenant. I don't have a problem with her. She got a little hiccup situation going on, but my thing is just communicate, talk to me, say something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't about nothing. Like, I understand if you having issues. I understand if it's a problem. I do. In my personal life, I have a profession that I've been doing for 17 years now. And out of those 17 years, I mean, I'm pretty good with resources when it comes to certain things, right? So, if you got a question, something going on, I get you to it. I get you right in and out. And so my whole thing is I wanted to help. I wanted to be impactful. I wanted people to get a nice place to live and enjoy. And my vision is to maybe build something from the ground up. And that was one of the things that I desired that I wanted to do was build, because I want to be able to, they have like, it's this housing crisis. Everybody, it's a housing crisis. Not saying it's not, but everybody keeps spinning it, but nobody's doing anything. I work at an agency that we remove kids, not all the time, but we penalize parents or say that, well, you need to make sure you got stable housing, but we offer nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, all these years, I'm like, why don't we offer anything? Why is it no programs that literally like, do you have any housing programs? Like, I want to be able to be like, yo, we do. Like, we got rapid rehousing over here. We got transitional housing over here. There are some programs, like, why is it that we don't have these programs for these families? And I ain't saying they got to stay there forever, but give them a plan. Hey, yeah, you could live here for 15 months, or you could live here for 2 years. 2-year plan. Hey, you could possibly 3. You understand? But in this time frame, you got to save some of your money, transition, and I need you to be buying a property when you get out of here. All the money that you save, I want you to use that to buy a property. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to start getting these and then making these people more self-sufficient. Like, where's the plan at for these families? And that's the part that I'm like, I don't nobody see that. I know y'all got to see this. Like, there's no way that I'm the only one that's seeing it. Nonetheless, that's my why. My why is this is how I got into real estate. And this is why I got into real estate, because I really want to help people that need help, right? I don't care what state it is. If they got a program where it's a homeless program where maybe they can help them, or maybe I can get on some type of program where they can pretty much even if they subsidize their rent, or just give them low market rent where people can either buy or rent at a lower rate, but it ain't killing me, and it definitely ain't killing them. I don't mind that. I definitely don't mind that. And I don't want money to ever be my downfall where I'm just trying to get money, money, money. And it becomes a god to me. I just, for me, it can't be that. It can't be that, so I think that I just wanted to hop on and just tell you that, sometimes we try to figure out, well, how did this person get into this, or what made them? And that's just my why. What caused V to get into real estate? And that was the fact that I seen it in my life, and I seen my family be influential and successful in being helpful to others, and being kind. My grandmother, actually, I didn't never see her. All that I remember, them people, I think they died in those houses. Okay, first of all, my mom and my aunt had two. It was one in not too far from us. It was two not too far from us. My mom had houses all in the same area, all down Erie, like in the Temple section. She was just killing it down there. I don't know. So, lo and behold, my second property was my property that I actually bought, but the third one is my grandmama's house. So that's a new project. So I'm excited that I finally got that. I got a hold of that, and I'm working on some of those things, getting some things in order for that. But that was such a blessing for me, and that was something that I'm happy about, because it kind of worked itself out, and the little boy is on his way. So I'm gonna hop off, because I already know that these are going to be really in deep conversations that we're about to have. I'm doing my video. Shh. You okay? Yeah. All right. So, but yeah, so that was that was my why as to what happened that caused. Don't do it. That caused me to want to start in real estate. Also having passive income, because why not? Right? Why not have passive income? I need it. I need some extra income coming in. Having just my job is not cutting it. I actually need more passive income, because I'm trying to figure out where I'm gonna get the funding from. Stop. Then I say I'm doing my video. I'm trying to figure out how to get more passive income or get funding for it, because I need to get these projects completed. So if y'all know anybody that's willing to work with me, and a firm just, did some shady stuff. I was supposed to, I asked for a refund for something. Kaden, you can't be on my live with your Paw Patrol. Hello?
You know Paw Patrol with me.
Don't stand up. What do you need?
Nothing and nothing. Thank you.
I told y'all I'm working. Nonetheless, if you know anybody that's working with funding, and like I said, a firm just did me real dirty, because it was somebody that I ain't even gonna put that person out there like that, but they had lied about a program, and I told them that I did not want it, and sent the email, and then a firm talking about you owe us money. How? They said that I could cancel. Y'all saying I can't cancel. I'm confused. And why did y'all send them this money? Like, it was just, this is confusing. I totaled all of my debt up. And at this point, I need over $500,000. Okay, so and that's just all my debt, houses, everything, over $500,000, and I'll be out of debt. So why not get extra passive income? That's my whole thought. Like, I need something to counteract the so that we can eventually dwindle down. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to kill anybody. My thing is about helping, doing low income or tax credit or something that's going to benefit the people. But this is my why. And I ain't trying to make you cry, but I just, want to just put out there that people have a reason why they do it. And mine is not just self-gain. It's really, how can I help somebody else? What can I do? Stop, Kaden. What can I do to be... Kaden, either you go somewhere or you be quiet.
Yes, I'll be quiet.
Thank you. what can I do to be influential to other people? What can I do to help? What can I do to serve? Right. And that's my thought process. How can I serve you? How can I be of some service to you? And what resources do I have that I can utilize and give to you freely? I'm a free giver, right? If I didn't like this shirt so much, I'll give it off my back. No, even still, I sometimes, depending on the situation, I give everything away. I got that from my mom. She was a giver. I remember it was a lady having a fit one time up on the top of the block, and she was like, "Go get my shirt, go get some clothes." I'm like, "What?" So I went and got. She said, "That's my good shirt." She's like, "Go ahead, go ahead." It was saying, but like my mom always, she was a giver. She was a giver, and so um, I like helping. I love helping. It's not as beyond like I love it. It's like I could be going through my own life's issue and literally um in the midst of me going through it, it's like I draw strength if I help somebody else. I don't know where it comes from or what's that about, but it's like I draw strength to keep going when nobody even know that I'm going through something in my own world. But nonetheless, that was just me. Like I said, I like to help people, and I want to figure out how to build more houses to help. What can I do that will help either communities, that will help people, that will help the Office of Homeless Services, which is those people that are transitioning, going through their process. Somebody might be coming out of domestic violence. Somebody might be dealing with being a single parent. Somebody might be just dealing with life, right? And all these people need help and need assistance and need housing. And my thing is, why can't I help, right? Because I don't have the funding, I don't have the resources. No, let's figure out how to get this out there, and let's figure out what I need to do. So one house at a time. That's my thing. One house at a time, and we'll figure it out. But thank you guys. Just wanted to hop on real quick. I know he needs his time. He just got finished eating, so I sent him downstairs, and now he's back. Say good night.
Good night.
Good night. Y'all have a good night. Peace. Blow kisses. Ah! Kiss mommy. Kiss mommy. Oh. Oh, thank you, sweet pea. He's the sweetest kid in the world. Right?
Yes. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Bye bye.
Bye bye.